My name is Ryu Som, and I'm here to talk to you about the best subject, Chinese Civil War. Cue the music.
The Chinese Civil War was the third largest war in history. It was fought into two phases, in fact. It was fought between the GMD, or the Nationalist Party, led by Chiang Kai-shek, and the CCP, or the Communists, led by Mao Zedong. The Chinese were such wimps, in fact. They lost the Opium War, and because of that, it led to European influences within China, leading to a corrupt government and one that was so weak.
The Chinese lost large amounts of land to the Japanese. As for the European, a myriad of missionaries trying to spread Christianity would enforce the religion upon the Chinese people. The Chinese, of course, rose up and said, "I ain't having that, bro." And thus, the Taiping Rebellion of 1850 transpired. Part religious and political, it was a movement that was only put down after deaths of millions of Chinese. This involvement of regional armies began to shift away from centralized control, which would result in the warlord era in the 1920s. Ultimately, the government during that time became super unstable and weak. China, in a desperate condition, began to feel that the Manchu dynasty should be overthrown, as the only choice was to accept Western culture and introduce democracy. In October 1911, the ruling dynasty was overthrown in a revolution known as the Double Tenth. The revolution was somewhat a success as it was partially fulfilled. There was no real introduction to democracy, and most former imperial officials kept their position. Yuan Shikai, the new president of China, ruled as a military dictator. However, regionalism continued under Yuan's rule, and China was not united. Yuan would become less popular and lose support from the GMD, led by Sun Yat-sen at the time. After Yuan was exiled, the warlord era took place. China would remain divided and in a state of anarchy. In response came the May 4th movement in 1919. Students led a mass demonstration against the warlords, traditional Chinese culture, and the Japanese. This movement was dedicated to change and rebirth of China as a proud, independent nation. This inspired many to group together, and in 1922, the GMD and Communists would form the first united front. They set out on the northern expedition to exterminate the warlords, and succeeded. The GMD would become the legitimate government of China. Despite this, the new leader, Chiang Kai-shek of the GMD, became less tolerant of the CCP, as they grew popular due to them promising land to the lower class during the northern expedition. The GMD began to carry out a purification movement where communist members were executed. In order to survive, the CCP led to the mountains of Changxi. The Civil War has begun!
In order for the GMD to take out the CCP, they had to put into play the 5 encirclement campaigns. The plan was mainly to surround the Reds, aka the CCP, and cut them off from supplies and resources. Out of the 5, only one campaign succeeded against Mao's strategy of revolutionary war. Mao's CCP using guerrilla warfare was their main strategy of revolutionary war, and will mostly made them win. The GMD would enter the territory and begin to round up the communists and attack the fragmented and broken up units. Now, from a message from a communist leader, Mao Zedong.
The enemy advances, we retreat. The enemy halts, we harass. The enemy tires, we attack. The enemy retreats, we pursue.
That was an interesting strategy from Mao Zedong. Now back to where we were. Chiang Kai-shek's attempt on the 5th final campaign came along with 800,000 men along with air cover and artillery. The CCP were obviously outnumbered, outgunned, losing the battle at Rujing on 1934. They later fled up north, leading to 368 days of retreat, known as the Long March. The CCP were led to cross the Xiangcheng River, while the GMD forces defended it. The outcome resulted in 50,000 CCP dead.
This is gonna be the right one.
Oh crap, the GMD is coming.
Bang, bang, bang. January 1935, the Zuni Conference happened with Mao, the emerging leader of the CCP. The decision was removing the 28 Bolsheviks due to their decisions at Jiangxi and Jiang River.
Alright guys, it's about time we rise up and stand up for ourselves and make China an independent nation. The 28 Bolsheviks have been discredited as they have killed many of our people. I will take over as the new leader of the CCP and destroy the GMD. Alright?
Yes.
Let's go!
He's our god.
He is our god.
The CCP then later head north to Sichuan to gain its reinforcements from Zhang Gaodao. The GMD decided to destroy the boats in order to halt the CCP forces. CCP units, however, sit outside the Yunnan province to build up the bridge. Mao does actually deserve the GMD and successfully crosses CCP troops.
Hey man, hey, let's go. What the? Whoa.
Another incident in Long March was the Loading Bridge, where the Red Army would try to cross. The GMD were unable to destroy the bridge as it would result in local outcry, so they removed its wooden planks. 22 CCP volunteers chose to cross it by clinging onto its chains, simultaneously lobbing grenades at the machine gun post, firing towards them. Only 5 survived and managed to take out the post to be able to pass. Results as a huge morale boost to the CPs. Zhu Dai and Mao later started to come up. Mao wanted to go north to Shanghai, Soviet to fight the Japanese. Zhang with Z wanted to stay in western Sichuan and maybe even further west to have closer access to USSR. The GMD later attacks them and splits their forces with Zhu, fleeing to join Mayo again, man. Mao, as Zhang's forces were virtually destroyed.
Alright guys, what are we gonna do?
We gotta go to the dark side, okay? We
Yeah.
gotta go west.
Yo, what are you talking about, the dark side? This ain't Star Wars?
We gotta go with the communist friends, right? It's always dark and
No, we
freaking
gotta
Russia.
go north. We gotta earn the people's favor.
We gotta go west,
Are you
dude.
serious?
You're gonna die.
Oh my god.
You're gonna die.
We gotta go north to fight the Japanese.
You gotta join the dark side.
But you know what? Alright, you guys should go your separate ways. You guys should take
Alright,
your own
whatever.
ways.
Who cares about you, Mao? Hope we die. Let's go
We
west.
gotta listen to him.
Who cares about Mao?
Hey, this GMD zone, what the heck?
Mao, come back! I love you!
10,000 men entered the Songpeng militias that had killed 3,000, sinking and drowning in mud, fighting indigenous people, and eating poisonous plants.
Hey, this is Song Pan Mark. Just be careful, watch your step, and watch for poisonous plants.
Yes,
Alright?
sir.
Like this one right here. Be careful, man. Touch it, you'll die. I'm gonna die.
Oh!
I see, I told you. Told you. Come on, one. Come on, be careful. Be careful.
Oh, my leg stuck!
Oh my loser.
They finally arrived October 1935 to Shaanxi, where base was finally set up.
Doesn't matter. Alright there, boys. This is the line, boys.
What?
Are you ready? Let's cross the border.
Do it!
The whole march is over. Yeah.
Do you guys think I have arms like Reyes?
No, hurry up.
Like, I want my arms to be as big as Reyes. When they, you know?
They are though, man.
No, they're not!
Now,
Look at
Korea's arms are like the size of Vaughn's head, dude.
that. My head isn't that big, Max.
Oh, you're right.
Right.
Korea's arms are bigger.
Are we recording yet?
Yo, Korea's
sorry.
Korea's pretty cute.
The, the CCP won because of their guerrilla tactics and because of the leadership of Mao Zedong. Okay? They had more support because of the huge number of peasants that were behind them, right?
Hey, yo, Korea, remember, party at my house at 6.
Okay, the GMD, they grew corrupt, and they only had support of the higher class, so they didn't have anybody to back them up. Even though they had the U.S., they didn't have enough support. They had very poor quality in their troops. They were low in morale and often deserted the war.
Someone in China?
Hey,
Hey, what are you doing here, GMD?
I'm just chillaxing.
Nah, get out of here!
Okay, I believe you. I love it. How do you open this? Yeah, why does the GMD gotta go to Taiwan? I mean, I guess.
October 1st, 1949. Mao Zedong claims the People's Republic of China ruled under the authoritarian CCP, free of GMD rule. The Chinese society at this point was militarized and individuals' rights and freedoms were suppressed. To his followers, Mao was seen as godlike, and at this point in time, communism was officially out of Europe and into Asia.
Men, you guys done a wonderful job. I couldn't ask for more. Through the long march, the tough times, you guys did it, man. Well, I,
Thank you, Master. Thank you.
Mao Zedong, declare China the People's Republic of China.
Yeah! Can I hug you, sir?
Nope.
Sorry, Don.
Sorry.